This is the podcast, not an interview. This is a conversation. No gimmicks, just reasons. 84 reasons. Come holler at me. Ladies and gentlemen, I am being true. Host of 84 Reasons, no games, no gimmicks, just reason. What's the reason for the day? A man that was highly influential and at my time when I was at the University of Florida. Some people know him as Keith Carodine. I don't know what his friends know him as. We're going to get to some of them friends. Doc Carodine. I know him as, listen, I just know him as Dr. C. 25 years at the University of Florida in the athletic department, working at the OSL. I mean, 25 years. Ladies and gentlemen, the great Dr. C. Dr. C, look, 25 years. Hold on. Because, see, this is the thing. 25 years at anything, at any career is incredible. No matter what it is. No matter what it is. 25 years at the University of Florida for a guy that grew up on the West Coast. You know, LA, for those of you who don't know. How does one, well, number one, I got to take you to Vegas because you win your bet. You do not play. You know, listen, this man right here said, bet me if you want to. Because the story of you getting to Florida is one I think is so unique. Because most of the time, you know, you got this background of my parents went here, or you know, ancestors went here, or they did something here. No, I got a bet saying you want the job or not. You scared to do it? You know, who's scared? What? And then sat down. A bet took you from California all the way, you know, to Gainesville, Florida. Because one thing is this: you hear the state of Florida, right? You thinking, okay, the beach, palm trees, and you going, this ain't what the brochure said. No.
Gainesville was not close to the beach, but hey.
Dr. C gets off the plane. And the guy that was flying the plane is also his driver. Like, listen, man, give me a second. I got to go change clothes, and I'm gonna drive you over to campus. Like, all right, you my driver too? Yeah. I'm a pilot and a driver. Got to make money these days. But your straightforward approach, no nonsense approach. But you had a plan, because in the interviewing process, the first thing they're gonna ask you, what do you see? What do you see happening with your position? How confident were you walking into that interview process, Dr. C? Because the thing about you is, anybody that I know you, that's worked with you, know you, I always say the same. Oh, he's straightforward. Now he gonna tell you the truth. Were you always like that? Even a young Dr. C walking into Florida, looking at Jeremy Foley and company, saying, "Look, I don't know what y'all looking for, but this is what I bring to this position."
Oh no, I've always been straight. I mean, you can. My mother, God bless her soul, I can still remember her on the phone with some people saying, like, you know, Keith is not one I wouldn't mess with him. And in fact, I remember she had started back dating after my father died, and I didn't particularly care for what he said, and I said, you know, I think you need to leave before something happens. So,
Grown
15 years old, huh?
Grown man comes into your mama and says, "Hello, my name is so and so," and you giving him this young Dr. C look like, listen, man, you got to do all that other stuff you've been doing. I think you need to leave, because listen, I don't know what you told my mama, but my mama ain't me. And this ain't it. So
no,
you got to go. Because this is the thing. I'm not, because when I wake up tomorrow, I'm gonna wake up even more firm than I was today. So
you
know,
she knew too. She told him, she said, you know, I would leave him alone. I think you should leave right now. So
listen,
I was dead serious.
Think about this though. You know what's crazy? That guy says his name is Keith Carodine. Keith, young man. All of a sudden, I guarantee you that same guy had a son or a daughter or a grandson or somebody. They got recruited by Florida. I guarantee it. Then that young lady comes on campus and they meet this Dr. C. And then they go back and say, Granddaddy, say, how's campus? Daddy, Mama, Granddaddy, Papa, whomever. I met this guy named Dr. C. What's his name? Keith. Keith what? Keith Carodine. His name is what? His name is Keith Carodine. Where is he from? I think he's from the West Coast. Absolutely not. It cannot be the same person. Like, it is the same person. And the thing is, because most of the time, the great thing about when we're younger, our friends, when we grow up and do so, they say, he was like that. He was like that when he was young, man. Like, what y'all see, he just got a suit on. He just got orange and blue on. He was going to be that no matter where he worked. Listen, if he was going to be a police officer, he's going to end up being the police chief. He started here, now he's running the police department. It's like, if he was on the fire department, he's the fire chief. He going to, because like I say, 25 years at the University of Florida, most people can't say that. Presidents can't say that at these colleges because it's man, there's change and there's University of Florida. This thing changes by the day. Somebody told you got an email that morning that changed by the time you left the office, like Dr. C. They already done switched it. They done switched it up. How did that LA, that Southern California LA pace prepare you for a freight train known as Florida?
Well, I've always been focused, and I'm not easily distracted once I get focused on a goal and an objective. And I think it's a valuable lesson that my mother taught me. And she says, hey, I don't care if you go to college. I don't care if you dig a ditch. I don't care if you pick up the trash. You're going to be the best, and you're not going to worry about what people think and what people say about you. And you're going to accomplish the goals that you want to set up. And you're going to be, whatever you decide to do, you're going to be the best that you can be. And so basically, when I came to Florida, I wanted to make sure that the program we were in, people say, if you're a student athlete and you want to get proper assistance and guidance for not only when you're there, but be prepared for when you leave there, that this is the place to go. And that was my mission. That was my goal. That was my focus. And everything else, it was just noise. And I have no time to noise. The only kind of noise I listen to is James Brown and CeeLo Green. So I'm not feeling any other noise other than that. My homeboys from back west, Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre.
Now it's funny. You say CeeLo Green. CeeLo Green has a line. Me being a Georgia boy. You talking about the Dungeon Family. You talk about you talk about Goody Mob. Oh my God! Don't get me started.
CeeLo like old school, man. I love CeeLo Green. Now, come on.
CeeLo said something one time in the song. He said, "You don't want to hear the truth, so I'm gonna lie to you, make it sound fly to you." And even as a youngin', I knew, man, he's spitting game. He ain't saying he's a liar. He's saying you don't want to hear the truth.
People don't want to hear the
truth. Lie to you, make it sound fly to you. And one thing about you, Dr. C, is this. Let me tell you something. I don't know who them 92 boys. I mean, you talk about, Shane Matthews, and then you talk about Ike, Riedel, Fred Taylor, Danny Warfel, all them boys can Javon Curse. I mean, too many to name, right? Mike Peterson and them. We underestimated you the first day. We meet you, you kind of smiling at us, you giving us that West Coast smile, but then you close the door. You said, let me tell y'all something. I don't know what y'all think. I don't know what y'all think this is, because we were unaware at just how much you knew, not just about us, but all these athletes, male and female. Like, dude, I know. Because one time you was talking to us and you was telling us, y'all be doing some stuff behind the scenes. And you talk to the group that you can hear a pin drop in that room. Because listen, Alex Brown, Derek Chambers, Thomas Moody, them 97 boys. Let me tell y'all something.
Oh, yeah.
They say there's two people you want to know. And they both named Doc. One is Lucky and one is Steve. They said,
Doc Lucky.
They said, listen, Doc Leggett gonna give you, Doc Leggett gonna give you, what I'm saying, no ham, no beef. He gonna give you all that stuff he be saying. He say, if Dr. C say he need to see you, they used to tell us, don't be late. You done messed up, but don't be late. And
no.
Coach Spurrier always had the utmost respect for you because he would say, some of y'all get them Doc Leggett letters. I can't save you. And he'll tell us that. I'm like, we were freshmen, like, who's that? I mean, Dr. C letters. We're like, who's Dr. C? But I will say this though. How does one at the University of Florida, no matter what position you have, coach, assistant athletic, senior athletic director, how does one find his place, his role at Florida without playing a role? I say that because when I saw you, I don't know who your boss was. I know they probably love having you, but you commanded the room in a different way. You commanded the room without trying to command it. You ain't saying, look at me. You ain't saying, you were the same. You were very, 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 very approachable. You were very, 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 easy to talk to, but you told us the truth. I'm talking about if you talk to me for 5 minutes, or I walk past you in the OSL, getting on the elevator, you're gonna say something. You could be talking to somebody, you're like, man, truth, yeah. All right, now I'm looking at you too. How does one balance that many athletes but still find a way to have some level of individual relationships with all of us? Even if you didn't talk to all of us, it seemed like you knew how to deal with each of us individually.
Well, I never looked at everybody the same. I understood that everybody was different. And so when you have to see people. And so when people say, like, one term that people used to always say, I used to hear people say, they were talking about if they weren't prejudiced. Well, I'm colorblind. Well, I said, like, well, if you're saying you're colorblind, are you really looking at me? And so I think what I tried to do was look at everybody as their own individual person and get to know them. And you probably found out, I might have done a lot of talking, but I also did a lot of listening. And I think you got to listen to really understand who somebody is. And so when somebody understands that, hey, I'm not just trying to like make you do something, I'm trying to get you to understand why this may help you. Now, you probably remember I always talked about choice. And yes. I used to tell people, I said, I'm never going to tell you under certain circumstances, you better not do this. But I will say, if you do this, this will happen. If you don't do this, this may not happen. So what do you want to happen? And so if people don't realize, I told them what they should be doing, but they actually thought about it and realized that's my choice. So all I was trying to do was make everybody realize that these choices, their decisions were theirs. And so I think when you come to people like that, it's like, hey, this is what I believe, this is what I think. Okay, this is what you believe, this is what you think. Okay, if you do A, B, C, and D, this stuff might happen over here. If you don't do this over here, then there's these other things that might happen. So that was my approach to everybody. It's like, first of all, you had to listen. And so, now somebody was doing something crazy. Now, I've been known to like be pretty stern, tell them what I think. But also, I think people understood it's like, hey, if they had an issue and a legitimate issue and they needed some legitimate assistance or an ear or someone said like, hey, help me think through this. I think people understood is that I was going to give it to them straight. I wasn't going to tell them what they wanted to hear. And some people have a problem with that. Some people interpret that if I'm very direct and honest with you, that I don't like you. No, that's not the case. If I don't tell you the truth and I'm not giving you all information, it's not an issue of I don't like you. The problem is I don't love you as a human being, because people as human beings deserve the truth, no matter how painful it may be, no matter it may not be what they want to hear at that time. And so that's how I try to keep it simple. It's like, hey, You're a human being. I love you. Tell me what's on your mind, what you want to do. Well, human being, if you do A, B, and C, this is going to happen. If you do D, E, F, this can happen. So you just tell me what you want to do. And I think that's probably why I think people understood. Because I remember one of your boys, one of your 97 boys came in my office. He was graduating. And people said, hey, talk about, well, you know, he got a bad attitude and the whole bit, you know, and he had some rough times there. But, you know, it's like, you know, and you know, he and I had a couple conversations, but he came in before he graduated. He said, you know what? When you first came in, you know, I didn't know what you were about. And I didn't like you. In fact, I couldn't stand you. I thought you were trying to be something you weren't trying to be. So he said, but you know what? Now that I see what's up, you're probably one of the few people that have been straight around here. And so, and like I said, and people, you know, a lot of people, like you were saying, like the song said, oh, you don't want me to tell you the truth, so I'm gonna tell you what you hear. So, but am I really your friend? Do I really have your back if I don't tell the truth? And I think that's what everybody figured out, that I really had their back. Tried to have their back.
Oh, no, you had our backs. The voice you listen to right now is Dr. Keith Carodine, former senior associate AD at the University of Florida. 25 years, people. Say whatever you want. Listen. What they say, a great man, Jay-Z said, when women lie, men lie, numbers don't. 25 years. 25 years and could have kept going. So 25 years is a long time. Could have. You know, could have. Listen, the greatest thing about anything in life, my daddy would say, is when you decide to leave. Not showing the door. I'm deciding to move on to greener pastures. Now all these husbands in Gainesville can thank Dr. C for your relationship staying strong. You can say thank you, Dr. C, for keeping my relationship strong. That's another conversation for another day. But Dr. C, you just said it. You just hit it.
Keeping everybody buffed, trying to keep everybody buffed and cut, man.
Absolutely. But you just said something. When you go to a university for this juggernaut,
right?
Whether you on the staff, whether you there on scholarship, the hardest thing to figure out is who is really who. It's not that you like look at people from a side eye. Dr. C, you cut from a different cloth. Like whoever that 97 young man was that said, I thought you were, man, please, let me tell you something. Coach Spurrier played there, won a Heisman, coached the Heisman, won a national championship. You're a former player.
Very proud.
Former players know players. Former players know players. You know what to say because you were us. You are us. How much did your athletic background help you in your career?
Oh, I think it helped me a lot. It helped me to understand, you know, and not trip so hard what everybody was going through. I mean, if you're trying to be good, it's hard work. It's hard work. And so, you know, just from that standpoint alone, you know, I respected people. I don't care if they were 17 or 18 years old. I know they were going to put in some work because they were trying to be good, because people weren't. And that was one of the things that attracted me about Florida, is that people who were coming in there, they were coming to be good, no matter what they were trying to do, whether it was lacrosse, swimming, football, basketball, soccer, they were coming there to be good, and they were ready to put in the work. And so I think going down the same path, understood that, hey, you know, somebody come and said, why didn't you go there? Man, I was tired. I said, I get that. I get that. I was tired too. I said, but at some point I had to get up and still go and do that history test, even though I hated it. But so I think that helped me understanding it. Also on the other end, because when I first started in athletics, I coached for 7 years. And so I kind of understood that path the coaches were on. And so it's kind of like, unless, you know, it is an old saying, unless you've actually done it, you really don't understand what people do. And I think what helped me also is because I still like to work out and stuff. You know, I would go in the gym and work out with everybody. And one year I was doing the same lift as the 400-meter runners. I was in there with the Lancey, like, hey, show me what they're doing. And so, you know, I think because we had common interests and I understood the sport, I was able to speak the same language. And I'm kind of like, yeah, I played college basketball, but I had enough exposure to football. I'm kind of going like, hey man, when that guy made that audible, you were supposed to do this. You're like, yeah, how'd you know? I said you couldn't see that. I was like, you know, like, oh, when are you gonna learn to get off a block? When are you gonna learn to block? So we can go in there. So it helped me be able to, talking everybody's language, talking our language. So basically, I'm still speaking as an athlete. I'm just a little older and kind of been through a process y'all were trying to go through at the time. And so I think being an athlete, I learned the language and was able to talk like athlete to athlete to anybody.
Rand Carthon got there in '99. I got there in 2000. Obviously, we was in the same senior class. He is the first black GM in Tennessee Titans. He's super duper. Super duper.
Ain't that awesome?
I'm happy for him. He wouldn't say this, but I can say this. Most of the time, young black men, we can say, man, we got to see it to be it. We got to see it to be. I got to see somebody doing it. But what they won't add is, I said, no, I got to see somebody look like me doing it. Right, but they themselves doing it. Like, because I see people that look like me that's doing it, but they don't look like they enjoying it. They look like, I got this position. That was never you. Dr. C, to the point where we would say this. We would come up in the OSL. It ain't even called the OSL. I was a student life OSL.
Yep.
There was a certain respect that you gave that whole building. Because we never knew where you were. To the point where I go, hey man, I saw him getting out of the elevator. I saw him going to the bathroom. And because it's not like somebody says Dr. Z is coming through wherever we saw you, but you always spoke. You never walked by.
Oh yeah.
And to me, those type of things is what stay with you. Now, once you got to know us a little bit, you would kind of wait on us to say something first, because you're gonna look at us like, you just gonna stare at me. You see me, and we appreciate it. OSL is its own incredible entity. It could have a documentary series just strictly that building because everybody got to come through there. Everybody got to come through there, and that's what I appreciate about you was I go, whatever that dude do, he got to be enjoying it, because only thing changed about him is his clothes. He the same every time you see him. And when I saw Rand at the Black Sports Biz Symposium recently, he was there and he was presenting to these youngsters coming out of college.
Right.
When Rand is talking about his experiences, he's only talking about the people he saw, and most of these were black men that he saw. Right. But I said, there's only one Dr. C. Because when we coming through school, we coming through college, man. I said, listen, man, you don't want that all orange letter, man. That ain't a FedEx letter. That's a Dr. C, and that ain't good. It's all orange. It's gonna be real. Like it was so. You see it in somebody's locker, you go, but what you do? Matter of fact, that ain't my business. May God bless you. I don't know what you did, because
it was orange. We wanted to make sure you saw it.
Listen. Let me tell you something. The one thing you would always tell us, like you said, that whole choices thing. You would always tell us about the importance of choices and how, look, I'm not gonna tell y'all what to do, but if you rather see me on this side of things, talking to all of y'all, because when it's one-on-one, it's gonna be real different. Because you put yourself in a position that I got to tell you some news that maybe Coach Spurrier don't want to tell you, because Coach Spurrier don't send you right over there. Coach Spurrier would talk about you in the meeting room. He said, some of y'all about to see Dr. C. He'll tell us. Some of y'all.
Oh yeah, that's him.
Listen, you talk about fear running through that whole meeting room. Like, what you mean Dr. C? Boy, your grades, buddy. Because we didn't understand how much you touched, how much you was over. We thought, he just does this, he just does that. And some of them seniors be like, boy, let me tell you something. You want Dr. C speaking on your behalf, not to you. You want him speaking on your behalf. Because if he's speaking to you, he don't, in the South, we say he don't play the radio now. He don't mince words. He gonna tell you what it is. And I say that to say, you set such a strong example for us because you were authentic. Mind you, I didn't know you was from the West Coast. Because by the time, listen, yes, you West Coast up and down, top to bottom, but that Southern twang was all over you by the time we saw you. You drunk a lot of sweet tea at that point. You ate a lot of good. Well, if you ate seafood in Gainesville, I don't know where it didn't come from Gainesville. It came from
Well, my parents and all their siblings are from Louisiana.
Oh, so so once again, so now you eat the seafood saying, hey man, don't call this spicy if it ain't spicy. Is a tear coming up my eye?
It better be hot. Hey, my bald head better be sweating if you go now.
Man, Dr. C, I will say this. When you talk about now, we're in 2024, and you got transfer portal, you got NIL, you got all these different, you got add new members to the SEC, super conferences. Did you ever foresee college football? Because it always had its place in sports. Now it's neck and neck with the NFL. I mean, the NFL is always going to be supreme. I'm never right. But college football is at a level. Is at a boiling point like I've never seen. In your humble opinion, where do you see college football, college athletics going in the next 10 years?
Well, I got a concern. Because there's so much money out there, and that's good. But what's happened is that, to me, people haven't realized that there's enough money for everybody to have stayed in the conference. And so college athletics is moving more and more toward the NFL model. And so I look at it after being away from it for a while, and I'm kind of going like, you already have a college football board that picks the playoffs. So the board should function like the NFL, and all the revenue should go to the board, and the revenue should be distributed to all the conferences just like it is in the NFL. And obviously, if you get to the playoffs, you get a bigger share. Because what's going to happen, what concerns me about college football is that if everybody's in the SEC and the ACC and the Big Ten, our fans going to get tired of that. One of the big things about college football is like, hey, we're going to get in the car, we're going to road trip, and we're going to roll on up the East Coast, and we're going to go see the University of Maryland. So, here's a road trip. So you're a basketball player from Michigan. You got a West Coast swing. So you're playing UCLA and Southern Cal on Monday and Wednesday night. And I think Jalen Rose on ESPN said it best. He goes like, hey, have we gone total money? He says, because I'm going to tell you what, I used to be a good student. He said, but if we have a road trip in LA and we play UCLA on Monday and we play SC on Wednesday, I'm not going to class the rest of the week when I get back.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you know what? Hey, I got news for you. I was an academic guy. I wouldn't have gone either. I've gone that week. But hey, so I wonder if it becomes so specialized, and I think the whole thing is being driven by money. And so, and now that everybody can get paid, and everybody, this is funny, and everybody, they should be getting paid. I mean, Coach Spurrier said, like, I remember when Coach Spurrier signed his contract, and he says, like, guys, I just signed this contract, and really, because y'all are doing a lot of the work, I wish I could share this money with you, but the rules don't let me do that. And so, and here's the thing: when you really think about it, and they talk about college athletics and amateurism, there really never was amateurism, because if everyone was an amateur, there never would have been a scholarship. So the only issue was the amount of the compensation. And so, but I think it's fair that people get paid. But I used to joke, guys, and say, like, Doc Carodine, don't you think we should get paid? And I go like, yeah. Guess what? Y'all don't go to class, I won't give you a check.
I mean, it should. Yeah, I mean, but now you hit on the head with it.
Because if I'm gonna get paid and I'm a college athlete, I should be passing classes. So I'm okay with a guy, but part of the job is not only playing football, but if you're going, you should be taking care of the other end too. And so, people look like, are you tripping, Dr. C? Oh no, let's pay everybody. In fact, I'll write the checks. Oh, you didn't go to school this week? I won't write your check. So
I mean, you got to have some boundaries. Now, I will say this: as a person that's come through there and who understands, who understands how there are brands, and then it's Florida. I always say there are brands, and then Florida. Like I remember
Florida brand is unbelievable.
Man, I remember when John Gruden was down there. I got to play with him in 2008 before I went out there to the Raiders. And I remember when he got fired, and he was part of the Fires, the Fire Coaches Association. He's down there in Tampa on USF campus, and Florida's playing in the they playing down there in Tampa, and he in the Outback Bowl, and he's talking to him. He said, "Florida is a global brand."
Oh,
And them youngers looking like, what? I said, no. Forget the states. Like, no.
No,
You can go anywhere in the world. And
Anywhere.
Florida's recognized. And sometimes and those players don't realize what he's telling them. Like, listen, fellas, look, you do not know what this university is doing for you. You do not know the heights that this thing could take you strictly because who you were, where you played for. It's always going to be what you did more than who you are, because people say, you went to Florida? Yeah. They're going to do one or two things. Either one, they're going to say, oh, yeah, or they're going to lie. Say, yeah. Because it don't matter, because they're going to be like, wait a minute. You represent, they'll say, UF Gainesville? Yeah. Like, like if you from the university, if you are from North Carolina, you go, I went to UNC. They're going to say, UNC Chapel Hill? Yeah, we don't realize that as players because you're in these seats, and then you leave, and then you're somewhere, and somebody notices you, and then somebody says, "Are you so and so that went to so and so?" You go, "Yeah," and these people just light up, because what happens is people go, "Hey man, you're part of the biggest brand in the state." Like, no, yeah, there are other brands in the state, and take nothing from those brands, but I said this one time. I'm doing a speaking engagement at some Gator club, and I think this is back when Kyle Trask and Kyle Pitts and then walking.
Trask,
I said if Kyle Trask walking down the street with Trevor Lawrence, Tua Tagovailoa, I don't even know who the quarterback was. No, Tom Brady, I think was the quarterback currently for the Bucs.
Yep.
I said the only reason why he's not the most famous quarterback in the state is because Tom Brady's in Tampa. They said, and people were like, what are you trying to say? I said, what do you mean? I said, they would have went to Kyle, if Tom Brady couldn't make that trip, they would have went to Kyle Trask and said, who are your friends? And that's Trevor Lawrence. That's Tua. And I think Kyle Trask and these young men, they don't realize, dude, Florida ain't, people think that Gainesville is this big metropolitan city. It's not. It's a couple of exits off of 75, and if you look down and look up, you're gonna miss that. I'm trying to tell you, but I will say, Dr. C, I didn't know this. You do right with your brand. I mean, Shannon Snell is a great example.
Shannon Snell
didn't. That boy came in with me in 2000. That boy didn't boil a hot dog. Now he's the lead, pit master for Sonny. Now,
how about that?
Guess what? Listen. His grandfather had a background of being a pit master. Now he's a pit master. But when he goes on campus and he asks Billy Napier, hey, man, I want to do an NIL with the O-lineman. Okay. See, I had to tell Shannon, I said, Shannon, as great of a player as you were, and you were, boy, let me tell you something. If you had anything nefarious in your background, because don't get it twisted. When they say Shannon Snell, they did the Wikipedia, nothing came up. You in there. I be telling my friends all the time, I say, listen, man, this was unfair about our lives. Something you did at 17, gonna ruin today. Something you did at 18 could ruin today. Because you were changed. You wasn't even a man then. You a grown man now. But brand and reputation are so close together that reputation is everything. I'm talking about everything. And if anything, so people go, well, what make people bridge these brands together? Can you boost that reputation? Can you boost it? Because if you can, hey man, let's talk. That's why LeBron is with Nike. That's why Nike told Steph, you can shoot, but you ain't LeBron. We love you, Steph.
We like
and all I'm saying is, when I be trying to tell, when I get a chance to go around the country and speak to young people, and I be telling them, people will say, I'm a brand. I'm gonna say, yeah, but who can you partner with? You are a brand. Your name is a brand. But somebody telling you I'm worth $1 million. Not if you can't negotiate it. If you can't negotiate the money you talking about, man, I can get the best advice from the dude at the gas station. Problem is, he's giving me stuff that he ain't using. He's telling me stuff that he's not using. But when I say this NIL thing, this NIL stuff, Everybody think, man, NIL. I say NIL is rooted in leverage. If you got leverage, you're gonna get that
Oh
money.
yeah, yep.
Because if not, Dr. C, I be telling them, I said, look, if I come into college, I have no debt. I walk out of college outside of a couple of parking tickets because I got booted a lot when I was in Florida, and they wait to boot you. They listen to y'all boot us down there on Gainesville. Y'all wait on us to get a little time off. You wait on you. Hey, I got the leave to go home. So you don't get that money. But if I come into college, no debt, and I'm finna get $100,000 NIL, my parents, most people ain't never seen a check that big. Not for no 100K. The problem with me, the problem I got now is can't wait to buy something. Car, get mama a house. And I think that kind of stuff is great. But here's the problem. If you bought your mama a house and you 18 in college, who gonna pay for the house? Because people say you bought your mama a house. No, I put a down payment down and we got some payments to make. Most people ain't buying no house cash. Or what do I know about 401ks, Roth ERAs? What do I know about budgeting? What do I know about stocks? What do I know about? And that's the part that I think is the scariest thing is I go, you on full scholarship. And Uncle Sam told you up and you didn't get drafted. Because the biggest misconception is he was a 5-star. He was a 4-star. Everybody is. You're going to Florida. This is the ocean where all the big whales are. Ain't no small fish in this pond. This is the ocean.
Oh, yeah.
They was like, what would be your advice to these current crop of student athletes who they got talent? They definitely got visibility, definitely. But that financial literacy part, I think is so scary because Dr. C, they're going to do something for 2 or 3 years of their life that they're going to have to pay for, to me, for the rest of their life because debt can't pay off debt.
No.
It can't do it. What would be your advice to them? Not like you said, you want them to get their money, but they coming in 2024, and listen, shout out to Gator Good and what they're doing. I think they're doing Savannah Bailey and them are doing a great job.
Right.
But you young, you 17, 18, you listen, your favorite person is a rapper who got $100,000 chain on, who drive a Bentley, but he ain't got to go to class. He don't got to play Tennessee on Saturday.
Oh, he does.
What would be your advice to these current crop of students, male and female, who are dealing with they dealing with the I want to say the stress of having a lot of information and a lot of I want to say visibility. How do they navigate it all? How do they navigate it?
Well, I would hope, and particularly the last 10 to 15 years it was there, used to always bring in a panel of financial planners, not stockbrokers, but certified financial planners, to do seminars, not only in the senior class, but the freshman class. And then we would have a end of the semester meeting with the professional sports counseling panel, and we'd have these folks and anybody whom the coaches thought had pro potential to come in and talk about planning. So before they give checks, I mean, they should have them go to seminars. They should have them meet with folks and sign off. And then the advice I would give them is take the advice of the planners, and don't try to get any get-rich schemes, because there are no get-rich schemes. Because we used to bring in like certified, NFL certified, NBA certified financial planners, people who were legit, to tell them, hey, if you got $100,000 today, this is what you should do with this money first. There's some first things that you should do with that money. The first things you should do with that money is that, hey, maybe put that money away in case things don't work out professionally, and you can come back and go to school and pay for school. But the first thing is to listen to those people, and the first thing they will tell them is like, you probably, because of the type of career that you're going into, you need to be saving at least 50% of that money every year. It may be more. And so so if you talk to any entertainment or a professional or any financial planner who represents professional athletes, and they're legitimate, and notice I said legitimate, They're telling them, I mean, they're talking about, blue chip stocks and bonds. They're not talking about go and get a restaurant car. They're not talking about going and buy a bunch of cars and boats and houses and stuff like this. I remember we brought Antoine Walker in one year to talk about how he went broke. So I would think that the athletes, I said, hey, don't listen to me. You just think I'm Dr. C. But listen to these pro athletes who made some money and lost some money. Listen to the people who now helping them repair their credit. And so I would tell them, hey, they need to get with a legitimate financial planner, listen to them, and that money that they're making, they need to put that money to work. And they're not, and any entertainment agent, any entertainment planner is going to tell them, you need to be saving at least 50% of that money, not 10% like they tell you and I. You need to save 50% of your money because let's say you only in college 4 years and you don't make it. And you're going to spend all that money before you left. So it's like if you're getting NLI money and now you're going to get paid to play since they changed the rule, when you walk out of there, you should at least be walking out with your down payment for your house or set up. So they need to save that money and they need to listen to the people and hopefully the university is still bringing people in to legitimate certified people to teach them those lessons about money. Don't spend all that money because an athlete's money, the average career, even if they make it, is like 3.7 years.
It's even less than that now because people always say, why that 3 point? Because what people don't know about, the NFL, which I know Dr. C, is basically to get your pension in the NFL, you got to play 3 years of 4 games. Why is that game? Why is that fourth game? Why does that fourth game matter? Because there are literal players out there.
3 years and 4 games.
3 years and 3 games.
Yep.
And here's the thing: that fourth team, they go to a team that say, "Hey man, what's going on with Oprah? Good player, but y'all gonna have to front the bill if y'all sign him." What? Yeah, he need one more game. And I know people hear that and say, "That's petty." No, that's business.
That's what they do.
That's business, and it's like what you just said about. I come into college and I'm saying, look, you come into college with no money, right? You got a full scholarship. You're gonna make some money. 50% means that's how much money I got left. Now people are thinking, do I get to spend the other 50? No. You got to no. You got to pay your taxes. Notice I said got to pay them, not
have to.
Don't listen. I know Will Smith got a new Bad Boys coming out. Don't do what he did. Don't go 2 years without paying your taxes. You ain't a movie star that they make $20 million a movie. You could take a year off or whatever. I think that's the hardest thing, though, what you said, though, Dr. C, is but listening to a person who they do this every day.
Yep.
They're not listen, a financial planner comes in and say, I'm not here to get your business. This is what I do every day. I'm telling you how to make your money work for you for the long haul. Like for
long haul.
Because what happens is if somebody's saying, man, you got a what head start in life? $100,000. You got $100,000. How old are you? I was 18. What you do with it? I pay my taxes. I save 50%. Right. Yeah. Because what you're not realizing is
I bought a brand new Tesla.
Yeah. I bought. Listen. Here it is. I bought it. As my listen. I usually use my grandfather's advice. I said, Granddaddy, what type of car are you supposed to get? He goes, go on the interstate, and look at the cars on the interstate. Look at the car you want. Count how many times you see the car you want, and count how many times you see the other cars. He say the cars you see all the time. That's for people working every day, just trying to make it. They ain't out here trying to look at nobody. He said, but here's the thing: the car you want. It's seldom. It's nice. But he said, but this is how I look at it. The car I buy, the people that sell it, they got one. The car you want, the people that sell it, they don't got one. You want a car that the people that sell it don't even got one. Think about that. So if I work at a certain dealership, but I don't, the employees park in the back for a reason. They wait on y'all to leave the lot. Are they gone? Yeah. All right, see y'all. See y'all tomorrow. Because they understand that's a bad investment. Mm-hmm. If I'm gonna make a bad investment in a car, at least it's gonna work for me. He says, and if you can't buy it twice, don't buy it once. If you cannot buy this car twice, don't buy it once because it takes getting older. But if I'm 18 and I got that, you know how crazy, you know how great I'm gonna be at 28, 38, 48, because I'm learning about money, not just people say money is meant to be made and spent. No, it is not. Because the people who got money, they ain't cheap, they frugal. They can tell you how much money they spent last Thursday at
There's
10
money to
o'clock.
be made. You make it and you make it grow.
Mm-hmm. A lot.
Make it and you make it grow.
Dr. C, man, listen, I am getting a history lesson today from this standpoint. Number one, I read up on you, man. I said, wait a minute. I'm thinking Dr. C, if somebody would ask me how did Dr. C end up in Florida, I said to me, if I got to just, I think Dr. C came up, you know, in this well-to-do family, whatever, because he's very well-spoken, very articulate. And listen, and your friend that made the bet, like, no, I just bet him. You know, what? I made a bet.
He bet.
He no, because he knows you. Are you scared? You don't want who's scared? Who don't want to do it? And that turned into 25 years, like 25 years. I mean, Miss Kim Green, her husband, Reverend Green. You talk about Miss Ann Hughes. You talk about Tony.
Tony Meason.
Talk about Jason Storch. I mean, listen, let me tell you, Miss Ann Hughes made me feel like somebody. I'm going to my end of my sophomore year. Now it's time. Do you get to move off campus? Are your grades high enough to move off? So me, Gus Scott, Carlos Perez, Daryl Lee, Hunter Bowdy. We all get Kenny Parker. We all walking through there. We kind of mumbling a little bit, kind of hanging around OSL for no apparent reason. Miss Ann Hughes walked by me and said, "Oh, Ben, you good? You can find you." She said, "This is what she said though. You can find you somebody to move in with." And in my mind, I said, "Wait a minute, I can move off campus." She goes, "Yeah." She said, "But you want to find somebody to move in with." I didn't know what she was doing. So, hey, so shout out to my homie Max Starks, roomies, our junior year. And here's the thing though, Dr. C, get the scholarship check. We think we doing something. We get this check. I said, "How much is the rent?" He said, "Dang, that's the whole check." That's my check and your check. Yeah, like no, that's like the whole thing. This is back when Bell South was Bell South. We said, "Hey man, we want internet. You know, internet is out. We want internet." $35. Shut us down. I'm talking about paid it the first month. The second month, I don't. Max told me to put it in my name. I go to the internet. Listen, I get drafted. They're looking at my credit report. They say, "You see this right here? You see this Bell South? It is tearing your credit." I said, "What?" But once again, a lot of times when you go to the University of Florida, you think what you want to take back is athletic achievements. You know, all Americans, being drafted. When now you can take back financial literacy for your whole family. You can say, "Daddy, come on, listen. Let me tell y'all how to really do it." Meaning, financial freedom does not mean that we have all the money in the bank. That means we are financially free because of how we use our money. We can go on vacations. We can do things we hear about. Because we know how money works. We know how it's supposed to work for us.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're passing down now. So people saying, "Wait a minute, man, your family well off." I said, no.
We just know how money works.
Listen, we know, and I said, because what's the point of the saddest thing you're gonna ever see? You made how much money? $100 million. How much, man? What? I said, wait a minute, you made $100 million. But no, he didn't make $100 million, he spent $100 million. He spent more than $100 million. He spent more than that. And for me, I do this because obviously I love being able to have a current interaction with current, future former Gators in any way, shape, or form. But Dr. C, you to me were what, as my mama said, I'm just praying for somebody on that campus that could just say something to my son. That was you. I'm serious. You listen. Coach Spurrier was the coach I chose. Ron Zook was the coach I needed. I said, "Mama," I used to tell her, "Mama, it's this guy named Dr. C. Right? Going to OSL." I said, "He don't play." I said, "He'll shake your hand. He'll smile at you." I say, "But if you if one of us do something crazy, he'll talk to the group. What you mean? Dr. C will talk to the whole group. My mama said, this is what she said. She said, well, do they respect him? I said, oh, yeah. I said, Dr. C wants you to come up in there and be disrespectful. You gonna disrespect me, man. I said, but he commanded respect through his actions, though. Yes, he's gonna tell you what it is, but very, very respectful, very professional. I'm talking about very. But if you're walking through the halls of OSL and he see you, it wouldn't matter if you're on the other end of the hall. He'll look, but hey, because if he know you, he gonna say something to you, and I appreciate that because when you a player and you're a former player too, college is crazy. College is the best, worst place you've ever been. It's the best if you really, really taking in what they're trying to get you. But if you just got athletic talent, it ain't gonna. It's gonna be you could be the best player on Saturday on the basketball court, but if all you are is a player, boy, you fugazes your whole 3 or 4 years because it's too much wisdom on that campus that want to give it to. Now y'all ain't gonna seek us out. You gonna say, look now, knock on my door. I'm here. That's what I got. Be sitting for 3 years and not really playing, but not really understanding Jamie, them up there in compliance, and Mike Speed and Ashley. See, I really engulfed now, mind you, I used to go upstairs in the compliance office because they had this nice little, I was on the Snickers team. So in Florida, if you don't play, back in the day, they had this commercial say not going anywhere for a while, grab a Snickers.
Grab a Snickers, yeah.
So I'm up there on Jamie's couch, just talking to Miss Kim Green, Mike Speed. But what I realized was, if I come into OSL and I sit down and I have a conversation with Ms. Ann Hughes, we just talking. I ain't trying to ask her to give me an extra. Oh, I know when you set it off for me. That's what it was. My senior year, we guys is going pro. And I love my guys. I'm not gonna call them out by name. They came back and they got that scholarship check. But we ain't in school. We are not in school. We have declared for the draft. I remember this. You came up to me and you said, you was like, Ben, I got guys out here, guys that have been here 4 years. It's really, really disappointing for them to use us, to get something that they had to pay some of that money back. Dr. C, I thank God every day that I didn't take that check because there are certain people you don't want to disappoint. I can say I'm happy that I wasn't. Now it's not because I was wise. Full transparency. Whenever they was there to get them checks, I just wasn't there. I was somewhere training. I don't want to give myself no credit like I was just well-rounded. But I didn't know how you saw us until that moment. You were heated. Not necessarily, yes, because of what they did, but who it was. You was like, what? Because in your mind, you get to know us. Over the phone, you're like, but I don't know him, but I know him. Like, my coach would say, there are certain names you expect to come across your desk, and there are certain names you don't. I don't expect their names ever. So for me, that's when you let me know, like, look, man, we do too much for y'all. To do that, and you look like this. That though, I can see it. We gave y'all $20K. This scholarship check, you gonna do this. And I'm just so happy I did because I don't know what that did to Ms. Ann Hughes because she's only doing what she thinks she's supposed to do. And well, but that you and Ms. Ann Hughes and like I said, Tony and Miss Kim Green and Jason, y'all were more than just OSL to me because y'all talked to me. Y'all, it was never, yes, we met each other because of the University of Florida. I'm a talented young man that got a scholarship. Y'all talked to me. Like it was never, you never said, I mean, how the game gonna be on Saturday. It was because we know you knew football. I said, don't do them because he's gonna say something you don't like. I said, well, maybe the game will go better if you just get off a block. I gotta go down and see. Oh, now you gotta go. Now you don't want that. I will say this: there are certain people in this life that I am who I am because of my athletic career is a certain way. Listen, my parents got me to college. That's all they couldn't do. At that point, they turned me over to y'all. People like you, Dr. C, in particular, you did it because you weren't trying to be anything but you. you had this stoic, you was this stoic dude. I said, man, Dr. C, get on my nerves, man, because he gonna say something to me, like, Mr. Chu, you gonna say something to me, like I'm like, man.
Yeah, but I was going to tell you the truth.
No. You told us the truth, and you were the same. Most people, you meet them, 2000, 2001 they did, 2002 they did, 2003 they did. What used to make us laugh is somebody say, man, I saw him over there in the hub one time. What, eating food? I'm in there trying to get something to eat. He in there. I said, well, he gonna walk around. He don't just sit in the office.
I just don't sit there all day.
Listen, you made Florida. You were a part of because it's all about the experience. You can take away the games and all that stuff is in golf. You made the experience because listen, over there at the stadium, they go Coach Spurrier, they go Coach Zook, they go Rob Glass, they go all these great players. Then you got Hawk. Listen, they go Pizza Bill. They go CP Chris Patrick over there. With the trainers Adrian, right? Then you got upstairs. You got Mike Speed. You got Ashley. You got Jamie. You got Kim Green. Then you go down there to Hall 95. When you go up in the OSL, I said, let me tell you something. There's a man in there named Dr. Keith Carodine. We call him Dr. C.
I tell you, man.
You're gonna meet him, and I just appreciate you for just being whatever. Listen, whatever Jeremy Foley saw in '92 is what I saw in 2000. Whatever you said to him, when you walked out your office, because I just thank God I never had to have a one-on-one in your office, because we've had some players say all that trash they talk. I'm going to see him. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that. So when we see him, hey man, what'd you say to him? No, I ain't go like that. For real? Nah, bro. He closed that door. And then let's talk.
We weren't gonna do that. But the whole thing, man, all you guys were my nieces and nephews. And that was the other part of the approach. All you guys were all my nieces and nephews. And I would sit there like, what would I tell my niece? What would I tell my nephew right now? And that's to be the honest truth with them. But now they wasn't going to happen. I had to tell one of your boys one day, he thought I was messing around, because by the time you come there, I started taking Kung Fu, because, I've been doing it about 20 years now. And he act like he wanted to, puff up on something.
he been lifting a little bit, and you like young man.
Yeah.
Listen, you like young man. Listen, don't.
No, so I had to tell him, I said, now, I said, if that's what you want to do, that's cool, because I do that every Friday. I go spar every Friday. And I said, I just want you to know, if that's what you want to do, that all my front teeth ain't mine. So I've been hitting them.
Hold on. Do you know what? Dr. C.
He looked at me like, so I said, I got a place to go. It's over here on 6th Avenue, Gainesville Dojo. I go every Friday. So if that's what you want to do, we can do that. But just need to know, I've been hit in the face before. These front teeth ain't mine. So what do you want to do?
Number one. When he walked out your office, he just stood there behind it. He closed the door and just stood there for about 10 minutes. Like, what did he just say to me? Because in our minds,
I didn't yell. I wasn't yelling.
Of course, that's the best. Listen, the part that resonates the most is when you're not yelling, you're just talking. Listen, whoa, you like, young man, whoa. If you want to do this, listen.
Oh yeah.
Right, listen, you giving him locations, you telling him what's happening, and he's like this. Man, they ain't coming, because that's what I told you to say. He'll say, y'all ain't used to people reacting. So you say something and you controlling the whole conversation till he say something back. Like, okay, let's do it.
So then one of your boys came back to me one day and he goes like, you know what? He goes, I see you, Dr. Carodine and this. He goes like, but now that I know you, he said, I can't use the language that he used. You just a street, just like everybody, just like all of us. But
you,
that's how I try to approach it. Hey, I'm just the older one of y'all.
Of course, that's what. Listen, when you told me that, man, when I was trying to get you to come on, you said, "Listen, man," you said, "Don't y'all know everything I've done? I did. Don't you? Like it's like this. It's like this. Listen, y'all ain't doing. You, I'm sitting there going, yep, I did that before, man." He said, y'all just get caught, and I'm the just y'all got to sit in front of me, and I get to go. You did. I got to go. You did what? Like I ain't did. Like if one of my friends standing like that, they're like, "Keith, you know you did. We ain't talking about me. We ain't talking about me right now. No, that's what I'm saying. We need." As former players, and
it's like
players
you did this on page 58 of my biography.
Like, boy, you chapter 6. Boy, what are you talking about? Dr. C, I will say this. You are the reason why I do this, because I want to make sure that each and every person that had any impact on me, I get a chance to tell them thank you. I appreciate you, because coming from Swainsboro, Georgia, by way of Augusta, Georgia, coming down to Gainesville, Florida, I ain't know what to expect. I mean, I'm just happy to be. I get to Florida, man. I see guys with tape on their shoes. I don't know what that is. People talking about All-American this. I don't know what that stuff is. I'm blessed to be there, but I said, listen, man, give me a helmet and some shoulder pads, man. Let's go out there. And then, what ends up happening. I thank God for it. But I always had great people around me. Because when I wasn't starting and playing a lot, it didn't feel like I was. Because I go, look, man, when I used to tell them about people I knew, they said, I don't know them. I said, y'all don't go talk to them. Or what? So when I'm getting ready to get drafted and I'm upstairs, me and my mother talking to these agents, there go Ashley. There go Mike Speed. Mike Speed looked at me and my mama before any agent come in there and say, Mr. Troop, I got you. Listen.
Yep.
He said, listen, before you can sign with them, they got to get through me. When I tell you, they was tearing them agents up.
Oh yeah.
But
even before the meeting, they did a bunch of background.
They told they said, Ben, they didn't let certain people come on campus. They said, Ben, we told them based on what we know about you. No, you ain't even gonna talk to him. Nope. And that's the part about the University of Florida that most players didn't get. I was blessed enough to get it. I said, man, I got all of it. I got from the coaches to the players to the games to the facilities to OSL to Dr. C to Ann Hughes I got it from upstairs, downstairs. So when I get drafted by Floyd Reese of the Tennessee Titans, when I'm upstairs talking to the GM, he thinking, this young man up here talking to me. No, I learned this at Florida. I want to know who in the building. I want y'all to know who I am. Because if you only know me through what I do athletically, that's my fault. But if I let you, so when I get into sports media and in the 2019, the draft is in Nashville, that go Floyd Reese, the same GM who drafted me. Man, I asked him, I said, Floyd, man, why did you draft? I mean, may he rest in peace, man. I know he died like a couple of years ago. I asked him, why did you draft me? And he said, because Ben, we didn't have to worry about you when we couldn't see you. When you're not around us, we could trust you. And that I said, wait a minute. He said, no. He says, we know you from Swainsboro. We know your daddy was locked up a lot of your adolescent life. We know your mama, brought you up in the church. We know you. He's telling me stuff. He said, but we was looking for any chinks in the armor. Couldn't find one. Did he do this? No. Fail a drug test? No. Drug driving? No. Domestic violence? No. And he said, so when there weren't any red flags, draft him, get him, snatch him. And when he said intangibles are things that can be seen, but most people don't know what they are. He said, we know what they are. And he said, for us, if you're going to be a problem, because our reputation takes a hit. He said,
that's true to your family.
And so for me, I learned that from y'all. That I learned. Listen, if I could go, people say if I can go back, I'm gonna be in your office more. I'm gonna say, listen, I'm gonna go see Dr. C. Why? I'm on the Snickers. In it, what do I got to do? Nothing. So let me go because Larry Fedora, who became the head coach and obviously Southern Miss, and now he was at North Carolina. I went to go speak to the team, and he said, Ben, at the end of the day, as coaches, all we care about is the type of men y'all become. We can't tell you that at the time. We care about the type of men, type of husbands y'all's gonna be, fathers y'all gonna be. He said, because you're gonna be that a lot longer than you play. So for me, a lot of that goes to you, sir, because no matter what, you showed us the way by just being you. Sometimes, I mean, he gonna do it through his. Yes, you're gonna tell us the truth, But you were the same every day. Dr. C, somebody said, man, I heard Dr. C. Well, I said, no, ain't no flaw to him. He don't miss his words now. Nope. And he a tall man too. So you gonna be looking either right at him or he looking down at you. Yeah. So it ain't gonna be no. So I just want to say, man, from everybody at 84 Reasons, I appreciate you, Dr. C. For more than just this conversation, it's just the fact that people say, who was him? There I was like, who was him when you was in college? Who was him? Like off the field, yeah, Dr. C. He was him because no matter where you see him, he gonna listen. I don't know if his pearly whites was his pearly whites when I was there. I think they was his then. They was his. So he smiled those on the front. And he listen, he kept it 100. He kept it 100 in 2000. He kept 100 in 2024. And like I say, 25 years. Former senior associate AD at the University of Florida, Dr. Keith Carodine, all the way from the West Coast to the East Coast, from Southern California, spent some time in New Mexico. Now, sitting on here with me, 84 Reasons, I'm being true. No games, no gimmicks, no reason. But what's the reason for the day, Dr. C? Dr. C, I will appreciate you taking the time, sir.